I'll use 4x4s to make the legs for the wooden fixtures. I'm cutting the PVC pipe to use as the support for the air cord solenoids. I'm wrapping Teflon tape around the PVC tube to give the wire a grip. I use my drill to help me wind the coils, and two things I'm looking for here are spacing in between the loops and number of loops total. You can see the second half went a little smoother than the first in terms of spacing. I'm actually going to start doubling back on the coil here, and it's going to be a double layer coil. This is actually the weaker of the two solenoids I made, and it will be used for the tambourine because I needed more force for the bass drum. For the bass drum solenoid, I used a higher gauge wire wound with 6 layers, and that ends up being a lot more turns per inch. Now I'll wrap the solenoid in electrical tape to insulate it and make sure the coil stays in place. I'm burning away the insulation from the ends of the wires where I will solder them to the leads for the battery. I'm using a knife to scrape off any residual insulation from the ends of the wires. Stripping some wire to use as the leads from the battery and the connections to the switches. Now I'll use heat shrink tubing to insulate some of the exposed connections. Here I'm securing the wires into the ports for the momentary switches. This is the whole assembly with the kick pedal beaters with the permanent magnets attached to them and the air cord solenoids attached to the wooden fixtures. The axes are aligned very well to make sure I get the maximum amount of magnetic force. Here are the batteries chained together in series for a total of 48 volts, the largest one having 5 amp hours. And here's the switch box.